After almost a year of secrecy, Nintendo's finally decided to pop the lid off of that Splatoon Raiders game. Kinda seems like Tuesday mornings are starting to become Nintendo's favorite little hotspot for random news drops. Not that I'm complaining. I'm just gonna slide this in here real quick before we jump into it. I've actually been really enjoying the way Nintendo's been revealing news this year so far. I know there are many people who are anxious about Nintendo Directs and are kind of upset that Nintendo's not really saving these announcements for Nintendo Directs. But you know, from my perspective, the way I look at it, we've had almost like weekly Nintendo reveals and announcements and news drops throughout the year so far, and I'm kind of enjoying that. It's like it gives you something sort of new to look forward to each week. And this week we got Splatoon Raiders. I mean, that's pretty cool. Yeah, 2 thumbs up. That being said, I don't think Nintendo Directs are going away, and honestly, like, the way they've been rolling out the news for their currently announced games this year is probably the best way for them to go about it. Again, people are upset that a lot of these reveals, like, you know, stuff like giving overview trailers and release dates and all that kind of stuff, people are upset that these things aren't being included in Directs. But I'm telling you right now, if Nintendo had a Direct this past February, when everyone was expecting them to, and they had nothing but overview trailers and release dates, these same damn folks would have just been angry and yelling on the internet about it. So if Nintendo's strategy is for them to wait until they have some new stuff to reveal in one big burst in a Direct, like, hey, that's fine with me. I don't mind waiting a while for these things. Anywho, so yeah, Splatoon Raiders, we finally got our first little actual like gameplay peek at this thing. I think it is kind of a bit unusual the way that Nintendo has gone about marketing this game so far. They revealed it in like, what was it, June of last year? It was like really strange timing. They just dropped a little reveal trailer on the Nintendo Today app, and this was around the time that Bonanza was gearing up for release. So I remember at the time wondering like, okay, interesting, like what is going on here? What is this strategy? Well, it turns out it was reveal it and then not talk about it for about a year. So that's given us a lot of time to ponder and speculate about like what the heck it is that this game could be. I honestly had like no expectations for it, but you know, I've done my little bit of speculating on it myself. I mean, okay, I know this is gonna sound kind of stupid, but I was playing a lot of Arc Raiders, you know, for the last couple of months, and so I did wonder if there was a chance that Splatoon Raiders would almost be kind of like an extraction shooter type thing, sort of like Arc Raiders, you know, just because they both have Raiders in the name. I really wasn't like fully expecting that, but I wouldn't have been opposed to it either, like a Splatoon extraction shooter. That sounds kind of neat. But you know, as it turns out, it seems like we're kind of getting something a little more akin to like an expanded Salmon Run kind of game, I guess. It's like if Salmon Run was more of like a single player campaign rather than just a side mode that you dip into every now and then. And I guess there is a treasure hunting element to it as well, so there we go. It is Arc Raiders, yeah! It seems like the primary goal is you're gonna be blasting through these waves of these salmonoids while you're searching for treasure. Honestly, I'm totally on board with this. I spent a decent amount of time in Salmon Run in Splatoon 2 and 3. It's a pretty fun little like horde shooter game mode type thing. It was always fun to get a little group of people together and, you know, do that. And so to see them kind of take that as sort of a starting point, right, and flesh it out for like a full spin-off type game, that's pretty cool. They make it a point in this trailer to highlight that it's a single-player focused Splatoon game, and there's no mention of multiplayer anywhere here, which I was initially just maybe a little bit disappointed about, because honestly, like the multiplayer aspect of Splatoon is a highlight for me. I felt like that was just the one little piece that would make this game just the slightest bit more exciting for me. And it turns out after the fact, in some info that was sprinkled out there, oh, it does have multiplayer. It has an online and local co-op option. Up to 3 other players can join you, and you guys can take on waves of salmon. So I don't really know why this wasn't advertised in the trailer. kind of strange that they're putting so much emphasis on the single player portion of it. Not a big deal or anything. It's just like you would think that you would also want to, you know, highlight that there is multiplayer in here and in the trailer. But you know, this is just a release date trailer. I do wonder if maybe they'll have another trailer, like some kind of overview or something like that before the game releases. I'm sure they will, because we also got the release date of July 23rd, so right around the corner. That's pretty cool. I'll be the first to admit, like, I'm not like the biggest Splatoon guy. I've played all of the games, and I think I put the most time into Splatoon 2 whenever that came out. By the time the third one 1 came out, I think my interest was starting to fizzle out a little bit. I don't know if this is a hot take, but it was kind of strange to me that they released Splatoon 3 on the Switch. Felt like, you know, maybe they should have held that one in the chamber a little longer to come out with the Switch 2. But, you know, in its place, we get Splatoon Raiders, and I think this is maybe even a more interesting direction that they could have gone, you know, with Splatoon on the Switch 2 so far. I have no doubt there will be a Splatoon 4 on the Switch 2 at some point or another, but for now, I'm totally okay with this. As a matter of fact, I'd really enjoy to see more games kind of like in a similar vein on the Switch 2, and I'm not just talking about Splatoon, but just spin-offs, you know, interesting new types of spin-off games for existing franchises. I think I brought this up in one of my recent videos, but like, so much of Nintendo's Switch 1 catalog, it covered all of their core game bases, right? And that's totally fine, like, they're gonna do that, and they're gonna do more of that on the Switch 2 as well. But something like this, you know, this is a sort of new-ish experience in the Splatoon franchise. It's not just another numbered sequel where you kind of know what you're getting into. It's a bit of a shakeup. And in this game's particular case, it's not even full price. It's, you're looking at $50 digitally. This is another thing that Nintendo's trying out, where they actually are finally implementing some variable pricing into their game releases. I think that's cool to see, and I'm definitely here for it. It just stinks that, you know, as a physical Nintendo game collector, I'm basically paying the price for it. Because, yeah, I mean, if you're like me and you want physical, you're gonna be paying that $60 tag. I don't know. I don't know, man. Maybe this is the generation where I'm gonna start to lean more into digital purchases for my Switch. Nintendo games are some of the only games that I get physical copies of anymore, just because I like to do it. I have like a, you know, decent little sized physical collection of Nintendo things, but I'm really wondering if maybe I ought to just, I don't know, bite the bullet. And that's exactly what Nintendo wants anyway. They get way more money if you buy from them digitally than they do physically, so. But I guess if we can get some cheaper games out of it, then, well, I don't know, you know. Anyway, I feel like I've talked about things surrounding this game more than I have the game so far. I don't feel like I have like a ton to say about the game. I mean, it kind of just looks like, and this is probably a very big oversimplification, but it kind of just looks like Salmon Run with more salmon to explore. So it kind of looks like the game is broken up into chunks, like these little island chunks, and there is a treasure collecting component to it. So I'm curious like how this is gonna work. You know, is this just going to be like you're fighting through waves of salmon, these salmon enemies, and then you win? Or is it more like, you know, you're blasting through these waves of enemies in service of trying to collect the treasure? I don't really know. It's not like super clear what the overall goal of it is here. Honestly, if it is just you're blasting through waves of enemies, that in itself is a proven fun way to play these games. So I'm here for it, okay. But I'm also here for having some goals, you know, to set forth and take care of, you know, get the treasure out with the treasure. And then I guess you take the treasure and gadgets that you collect back to your little shack, and then I guess you can use it to like either craft new gadgets or upgrade existing like weapons and artillery and all that kind of fun stuff. Looks like there are some different modifiers that you can equip onto your weapons for some, you know, different effects. You can change your slashes for the hatchet to be vertical instead of horizontal. This is revolutionary. I don't know if the Splatchet is like a standard weapon that you bring out with you on all of your raids, or if that's just like, you know, an equipable weapon. I don't know. I could see that being like your melee option or something like that. Again, it's not super clear. This is kind of more like, this is more of like the official reveal of the game rather than what we got last year. So I'm sure there's probably going to be more of an overview before this game comes out. I guess we'll see. Either way, I'm interested. I'm definitely curious. Like I said, I'm not like the biggest Splatoon guy in the world, but like honestly, Salmon Run is a lot of fun. And this kind of looks like a more fleshed out, expanded upon single player campaign version of Salmon Run. Single player with multiplayer options, apparently, supposedly. I'm not sure how involved that's gonna be. It would be cool if you could play through the whole game with friends if you want. Yeah, I guess we won't have to wait too much longer to get more info about the game, and I mean, even if for some reason Nintendo decided to stop marketing the game right here and now, I don't know why they would, but I mean, if they did, the game's right around the corner. It's gonna be out in July, and like it's gonna be here before you know know it. I'm so ready for summer, man. I want to hit the pool so bad. My ass is gonna be bumming it out at the pool. I'm ready. Anywho, so what do you guys think? What do you think of Splatoon Raiders so far? I mean, again, it's not like we've seen like a ton of it. I have seen some people on social media that are a little bit let down by what it's shaping up to be here, for understandable reasons. Me personally, I didn't really have any kind of expectations or anything about Splatoon Raiders. Salmon Run was always one of my favorite parts of Splatoon 2 and 3, so you know, getting more of that, but like maybe even better, is totally fine with me. I think it looks like fun, and a cheaper price tag to boot if you're not buying physical. This is gonna be a hard decision. I gotta decide what I'm doing. Same case with Yoshi, man. It's like, do I buy Yoshi physical? What do I do? I don't like this position I'm being put in. Honestly, I'm not nearly as attached to the idea of physical games as I used to be in my younger days. I think Steam is largely to thank for that. So maybe I will just start to suck it up and get my games cheaper on digital. I don't know. Anyway, I'm off on a tangent here. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I want to hear from you. How you feeling about Splatoonness? Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And I guess I'll catch you guys in the next one.